Thank you everyone for being here. Again, I'm here with George from the Zero G Labs team. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Myself, I'm a protocol specialist at Symbiotic. I work in protocol research, mechanism design as well. But yeah, let's focus on the Zero G side of things. So can you just quickly tell us what exactly you do there and what exactly Zero G is?
Sure, yeah, good to be here, everybody. Thanks for attending. My name is George. I lead strategic partnerships at Zero G or Zero Gravity. I also help with our investment as a foundation into certain applications and our accelerator program. And so here, today we're going to talk about what decentralized AI means and how our compute network and our storage network embodied within our operating system on our L1 chain, which is EVM compatible, how we enable a decentralized AI future.
Sounds good, appreciate that. So when exactly did you realize or you understand the potential that decentralized compute could have, and how exactly did you start that, and how are you guys materializing that at Zero G currently?
Sure, so as I mentioned, as an L1 chain, which is focused on AI applications, we realized the current infrastructure needed to be up-leveled. And when we say current infrastructure, we're talking about compute, we're talking about storage, data availability, and the chain itself. You need a chain with high throughput, low latency. You need a storage network with, again, high throughput, low latency, and low costs as well. And then the compute network should be distributed in such a way that you don't lose performance and you can still maintain the decentralization aspect of it. And again, decentralization is kind of like a sliding scale. And so what we realized is, okay, if we want to enable AI applications from the enterprises and AI applications on the consumer level to get access to distributed compute networks, we have to kind of create a sliding scale mechanism of decentralization. Because enterprises, for example, cannot fully depend on a fully decentralized network. They kind of need their own centralized service in a way. And so, what we were able to do with our compute network is say, hey, if you want to have decentralized inferencing and fine-tuning and data verification, if you want to host AI models and train it in a decentralized way, perhaps have community participate in the training of these models, our network is purpose-built for that. And so we have over 400 projects building with Zero G right now. They are utilizing different components of the tech stack. And what we found is that there's profound different variety of applications being built. And so when we created our compute network, we vertically integrated on top of a decentralized storage network. And now what the community is doing, and we have hundreds of thousands of community members every day contributing to this network, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, I have this data, which I'm generating on-chain with trading or these DeFi applications or gaming or DePIN, and they're putting that into the storage network. And then they're saying, now what can you do with that? Are you going to give us some money, some rewards, anything like that? And so we said, yes, we can do that. At Zero G, we can do that because we vertically integrate the storage with the compute, and then we take this data and put it into models. And then these models are fed to enterprises, and the enterprises are generating revenue. And then they distribute the revenue back to the participants in this model training and the model contributions.
Sounds good. Appreciate that, man.
Sure.
So for someone that hasn't yet read your docs, what exactly does it mean to have a decentralized AI operating system?
Yeah, so an operating system, think of it like Mac OS or Windows OS. Out of the box, it should have preset features which enable you to do things. And so at Zero G, our chain, people say, why do you need another L1? Why do you need another, infra project? Heavily funded, right? We're very well funded with 380 investors, 300 million funded. We have over 400 projects, like I said, building with us. Why do we need another chain? Well, the reason you need another chain, especially in our context, is if you want an AI application to fully sit on chain, everything has to be fixed from the ground up. So, and then you need the settlement chain, so our chain, for example, to have like thousands and thousands of TPS. So we have 11K transactions per second per shard. And then we have the storage network, which is infinitely scalable, right? So we can add multiple storage nodes linearly and just scale the entire network. And so AI agent networks that are deploying on Zero G, they're actually leaving other ecosystems like Solana and Base and BNB because of scalability issues. And so they come to Zero G and they say, look, we want to have not one agent, we want to have 1,000 agents. Can your chain solve that for us? And so the operating system is kind of like our way of providing out-of-the-box solution for any AI company or AI application that wants to infinitely scale. Infinite scalability is not just a, like a phrase or a euphemism for something. It actually is important when you're talking about AI. And that's AI agents. Now, AI models is another thing where you need infinite scalability. A decentralized LLM, for example, processes terabytes of data. And so if your chain is not able to parse through that much data, and if you have to use a third-party file storage provider, or if you're using a centralized solution, what happens is there's a couple issues. First is, how can you trust the data, right? When you use OpenAI and these centralized solutions, how do you know what the model weights and biases are? With Zero-G, because it's a decentralized storage network at the bottom, and then it's the compute and training on the top, you can actually see, oh, here's the model weights and biases. There is no central entity, adjusting things to favor themselves, right? And then you can say, okay, the community can participate in the training of the models. They can participate in actually getting some rewards for using it. So instead of you paying a subscription fee to OpenAI, Zero-G's LLMs, which are coming out, will be able to give you rewards for actively using and training the platform. And so the operating system is like a plug-and-play adapter type mechanism where you do not need to use 5 different providers to get to a decentralized AI. You have storage, you have compute, you have data availability, you have a very high performance chain with infinite TPS is what we're aiming for, and then you have infinite scalability and the securities that lie within the chain. And so again, you don't need to go through one chain for settlement, one storage provider, one compute provider, one inference provider. We're cutting all of that out and putting it in an all-in-one solution.
Yeah, really looking forward to those LLMs as well. It's be great. So as you mentioned, you guys have been working across the stack with the chain, with compute, with storage and DA. If one is to build, let's say, an agent or a data-intensive application, can you please just walk us through the workload there and how those components interact between each other as well?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to go about it. If you're a crypto native person and you're very, let's say, retail focused and not developer focused, we have platforms where you can go in and just with one click launch an AI agent. And one of those platforms is called AIverse. And then if you want to launch a meme coin or a token related to that agent, we have a few other launch pads as well, like Slot Money and things like that. In addition, we've announced the first launchpad to allow communities to train models. We've pioneered a new term called an ITO, Initial Training Offering. So you may have heard of IPO, ICO, IDO. ITO, we think, is the next evolution for what fundraising in the AI space looks like, wherein community can participate by submitting data. They can contribute their GPU resources, which may be unused, and then they can also contribute capital, right? And so if they contribute meaningfully to an AI model, which in the end generates revenue, they can be active participants in that model and have rights to revenue share. And so this launchpad called BMO.Party is going to be the first one in the entire crypto space that allows the community and enables them to be active participants in AI model training and the revenue that can come from that. And so we're super excited about that. I think on the other side of things, we do have the storage network, which again is able to track the full on-chain provenance history of the contributors. And so no matter what you're building, even if it's not AI applications, if it's gaming, DeFi, DePIN, RWA, we have all these projects building on Zero-G. What happens is the applications can actually track and see who the people are and what data is being actually uploaded to the network. And then we're able to monetize and incentivize continuous action and retention of these users for these applications. So one of the things that Web2 AI is still struggling with solving is the cold start problem when you're talking about these new applications that come out, right? We know majority of the application attention and users are in the centralized solutions like OpenAI and Grok and Llama and all these guys, right? But then when you say, okay, I want to create a new app, right? Maybe an app on an app store on ChatGPT, how do I get the users? Well, in crypto, right, blockchain fundamentally solves that because we have a point system mechanism that you can develop. We have data attribution that we can demonstrate provably on chain. And then the model participation for the training side is something that we've pioneered. And so now you can actually track and see who are the people that are participating in the training. And then you can generate revenue and give it to them and thank them for their services and keep them coming and keep them continuing to contribute their resources.
Sounds good. Appreciate that the only part missing was more on the economic security side of things.
Yeah.
So how exactly does plugging into some universal staking framework such as Symbiotic could support you guys on decentralization and
Sure. So we pioneered a few things with Symbiotic. Symbiotic, they create liquid staking and liquid restaking. And so what that means is you can take a 0G token, stake it into our smart contract, and mint an LST, a liquid stake token. And then that LST, you can basically put it into other DeFi applications. You can supply it in a money market and generate some yield, and you can borrow against it and pay some interest. And so the LST basically enables you to not have to sell your native 0G token, but still you get the ability to participate in the DeFi applications. And so we were actually the first airdrop to actually allow you to claim and stake your airdrop into an LST, and then take that LST and interact with applications. You could swap it on our DEXs, you could deposit it into vaults and generate additional yield. You can supply it, as I mentioned, on the money markets. And we're going to do some other cool things, such as allow you to use your LST to pay for storage or pay for compute, or use it as collateral. So that way, again, you don't have to decay your principal balance. You can still pay for storage and compute by staking your 0G tokens, generating the yield and revenue, and using the revenue to pay for our storage and compute. Again, this has not been done anywhere else. I don't think you will find any other decentralized storage solution or compute network allowing you to stake principal and use yield to pay for services. So this is something, and we wanted to have a good partner to do this with, and that's why we chose Symbiotic. They have billions of dollars in TVL and TVS, and so we're very happy with Symbiotic. And so that new platform is coming out soon. It's going to be called Ascend. And we're really excited to get that out to you guys and show you. It's a partnership, a three-way partnership with Zero Gravity, Symbiotic, and Mellow. And it's called Project Ascend. So we're excited about that.
Same, actually. Yeah, it was an amazing way to end the Fireside chat. Thank you very much, guys. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, so there's one more thing. You guys may have got some pamphlets. Also, there's going to be a QR code out here. So this is for everybody here. Feel free to scan it and add your wallet, and you get a free airdrop of 0G tokens. And so this is your official welcome and entry into the 0G ecosystem. It's a free airdrop. It's 0G tokens. You'll be able to claim it. You could sell it if you want, or you could take it and stake it, right? You could stake it on Gmo. You could swap it on Jane. In the future, you'll be able to stake it with Symbiotic. But it's our gift to everybody here. We're super grateful for your attention, and we love the community. If you're interested in building with 0G, please do reach out to us. We have a great builders program, ecosystem fund, with $88 million in there, and we're supporting builders actively as investors. We're not doing grants, we're investing in the companies, and we want a long-term relationship with everybody. AI applications are preferred, but it could be gaming, DeFi, doesn't matter. We want to support everybody. And we're EVM compatible. We're chain and framework agnostic, so if you're building agents on other frameworks, you're welcome to try it out with us. And our storage and compute is modular, so no matter what chain you're on, you can still utilize our services. And so these tokens are a way of thanking you for your attention. Feel free to take it and enjoy.
Thank you very much, George.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sure.